Today's new truck market is a debt trap, plain and simple. Paying $70,000 for a pickup that has more sensors and plastic than an actual truck is a fast track to financial ruin. While everyone else is mortgaging their future for a fancy touchscreen, there is a smarter way to get a real, capable vehicle in your garage, one that will actually last. We're talking about 5 specific trucks, built to hit 200,000 miles without breaking a sweat, all for a fraction of what a down payment on a 2026 model would cost you. If you're tired of overpaying for unnecessary luxuries and want a solid workhorse that stays on the road for the next 15 years, these are the only 5 models worth your hard-earned money. Nissan Frontier. Let's start with the truck that's been hiding in plain sight for the last decade. Everyone's chasing a Tacoma, and I get it. The Tacoma has the name, the reputation, the resale value. But here's what the dealers don't want you to figure out. The Nissan Frontier, from 2012 onward, runs the same 4.0-liter V6 that Toyota uses, pushes 261 horsepower, and you can find a clean example for $8,000 to $11,000 less than a comparable Tacoma with the same mileage. That's not a small gap. That's a down payment on something else, or money that stays in your pocket. Now, if you've done any research on older Frontiers, you've probably heard about the SMOD, the shall not be named transmission cooler issue, where coolant would mix with transmission fluid and turn it into a chocolate milkshake. Real problem. Expensive problem. But here's what most people on forums skip over. Nissan fixed that issue after 2011. The 2012 and up Frontier runs a completely redesigned cooling system. Fleet managers know this. Commercial operators who run these trucks hard for 150,000 miles know this. It's the worst-kept secret among people who actually work on these trucks for a living. What you're getting is a legitimate body-on-frame, 4-wheel drive work truck with a proven V6, a simple suspension setup that any decent shop can service without ordering exotic parts, and a towing capacity that handles a boat or a trailer without breaking a sweat. It's not glamorous. It doesn't have Toyota's marketing budget. But if your goal is maximum truck per dollar, and it should be, the Frontier from this generation is one of the most underpriced vehicles in the entire used market right now. Buy it before more people figure that out. Ford Ranger. Before Ford turned the Ranger into a $40,000 lifestyle truck with a fancy grille and a subscription-based feature list, it was something better. It was a tool. The Ranger from this era is pure, unfiltered utility. No frills, no nonsense, and a parts catalog so deep that your local AutoZone probably has everything you need on the shelf right now. This is the truck your grandfather would have bought, driven for 200,000 miles, and handed down to his kid. And the market still hasn't fully woken up to how good a deal these are. You can find a solid example for $5,000 to $8,000 all day long. The 4.0-liter V6 in this generation is not a fast engine. It's not a fuel-efficient engine either, but it is an engine that simply refuses to die. Mechanics will tell you straight up, the 4.0 Cologne V6 is one of the most bulletproof small truck motors Ford ever built. Timing chain, not a belt. Cast iron block. Simple fuel injection. The kind of engine you can hand a wrench to a shade tree mechanic, and they'll figure it out in an afternoon. The 2.3-liter 4-cylinder is even simpler if you find one. Neither of these motors is going to impress anyone at a stoplight, but both of them will still be running when the note on a new truck is long paid off. This is your second truck, your farm truck, Your home improvement truck that lives in the driveway and hauls mulch on Saturday morning and lumber from Home Depot on Sunday afternoon. It doesn't need to be your daily driver, and it doesn't need to be pretty. What it needs to do is start every single time you turn the key, haul what you need to haul, and cost you almost nothing to keep on the road. The old Ranger does all three without asking for anything in return. That's not a bad deal for under $8,000. Honda Ridgeline. I know what you're thinking. And yes, I'm going to hear about it in the comments. The Ridgeline isn't a real truck. The frame guys hate it. The towing crowd ignores it. Forum warriors have been dunking on this thing since 2006. But here's what those same guys are doing while they're typing their complaints. They're replacing the transfer case on their body-on-frame pickup. Or they're dealing with a blown U-joint. Or they're at the dealership getting quoted $2,800 for a transmission service. Meanwhile, the guy who bought a clean Ridgeline for $12,000 just rolled past 230,000 miles on the original drivetrain and hasn't thought about any of that. The Ridgeline runs Honda's 3.5-liter J-Series V6, the same engine family that powered Odyssey minivans and Pilots well past 300,000 miles across millions of households in America. It's a unibody platform, which means the ride is smoother than any body-on-frame truck at this price point. The cabin is quieter, and the handling doesn't feel like you're steering a barge. And then there's the trunk, a lockable, weatherproof in-bed storage compartment built right into the floor of the bed. It holds a full set of tools, groceries you don't want to blow out on the highway, or anything else you want secured and out of sight. No other truck at this price has that. This is the truck for the suburban guy who needs honest utility without the punishment of a heavy-duty platform. You're not hauling a fifth wheel. You're not pulling a commercial trailer. You're moving furniture, hauling landscaping materials, loading up for a camping trip, and doing it all while getting better fuel economy than a V8 pickup and spending almost nothing on maintenance. If your ego can handle the fact that it doesn't look aggressive in the driveway, the first-gen Ridgeline will quietly be one of the best financial decisions you've made in a parking lot. Toyota Tundra. Everyone talks about the second-generation Tundra. The 2007 and up trucks get all the attention, all the forum threads, all the YouTube videos. And that demand is reflected in the price. You're paying a premium just because more people know the name. But the first-generation Tundra with the 4.7-liter I-Force V8 is the one that the people who actually study these engines quietly go hunting for. This is the motor that a Louisiana man drove to 1 million miles in a straight line. Not a rebuilt engine, not a new short block halfway through. The original engine, 1 million miles. That story went around the truck community years ago, and it never got old, because it shouldn't. 1 million miles on a factory V8 is not a coincidence. It's engineering. What makes the first gen attractive beyond the engine is everything it isn't. It's not massive. It fits in a standard garage without folding mirrors. It's not overweight. The platform is lighter than the second generation, which means less stress on the drivetrain and better real-world fuel numbers for a V8. The interior is simple to the point of being Spartan, which means there's almost nothing electronic to break. No air suspension, no complicated four-wheel drive actuators. A straightforward truck built when Toyota was still proving itself in the American full-size market and had something to prove about reliability. You're going to find these in the $10,000 to $16,000 range for a clean, high-mileage example, and that mileage should not scare you. High miles on a well-maintained I-Force V8 is not a red flag. It's proof the engine works. Pull the maintenance records, check for rust underneath, Do a compression test if you want peace of mind, and then drive it. These trucks routinely hit 300,000 miles with nothing more than basic maintenance. The second gen gets the glory, but the first gen is where the real value is hiding right now. Toyota Tacoma. Here's the part where I tell you something that sounds backwards. The most expensive truck on this list is also the cheapest truck on this list. A clean 2005 to 2015 Tacoma with the 4.0-liter V6 and four-wheel drive is going to cost you more to buy than anything else we talked about today. You're looking at $15,000 to $22,000 for a solid example, depending on mileage and trim. That number makes people hesitate. But here's the math that changes everything. People who bought a 2010 Tacoma for $18,000 5 years ago are selling it today for $18,000. Some are getting more. No other vehicle in the American market does that. Not a sedan, not an SUV, not another truck. The Tacoma holds value the way real estate holds value. It's not a vehicle purchase, it's a position. The reason is simple, and it has nothing to do with marketing. The 4.0-liter 1GR FE V6 in this generation is one of the most over-engineered small truck engines ever put into a production vehicle. It is not uncommon to find these motors running clean at 280,000 miles with original seals. The four-cylinder is nearly as tough if you do lighter-duty work. Parts are everywhere. Every independent shop knows this platform inside and out. And the 4WD system is mechanically straightforward, with a track record that other manufacturers have spent decades trying to replicate and never quite matched. This is why mechanics buy them for themselves, not because of the badge, because of what's under the hood and under the frame. Now here's the warning, and I promised you this at the top. If you're buying a Tacoma and you live anywhere in the Rust Belt, from Ohio to Maine to Minnesota, you need to get under that truck before you hand over $1. Frame rust is a documented, well-known issue on first and second generation Tacomas, serious enough that Toyota ran an extended warranty program on certain model years because of it. A rotted frame can total an otherwise perfect truck. Bring a flashlight, bring a screwdriver, and poke around. Or pay a shop $40 to put it on a lift and look for you. A clean-framed Tacoma in the South or Southwest is a different conversation entirely. Those trucks are as close to bulletproof as anything you'll find in the used market. Do the inspection, know what you're buying, and you'll own the best used truck in America. If you made it this far, you already think differently than the guy signing a 7-year loan in a dealership right now. Every truck on this list can be bought with cash, maintained cheaply, and driven past 300,000 miles if you treat it right. That's not luck. That's a decision. Subscribe to the channel if you want more of this. No fluff, no paid recommendations. Just straight talk about how to spend your money like it actually matters. See you in the next one.